Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this special bulletin. What would cause someone to go off unhinged, lose their mind, calling people bigots and racists and istophobes, and going so far as to threaten to knock someone out if they saw them in person? Would you believe if I told you it was over the opinions of a video game, or video games in general? Now, this may come as a rather shocking statement to you, but that's exactly what we're dealing with in the gaming industry right now. People getting overly bent out of shape over the opinions on video games. In this article from That Park Place, go check him out. John F. Trent's a wonderful writer. Make sure you give his website, That Park Place, or the website he's part of, lots and lots of traffic. Get them ahead of all the other lamestream video game journalist websites out there because, well, he deserves it, honestly. He does a lot of hard work. But anyway, I digress. Second Wind co-founder Nick Calandra calls followers of Sweet Baby Inc. detected curator list, a simple little curator list on Steam that brings up, hey, these video games are involved with what it can be perceived or what is believed to be forced diversity, inclusion, and equity. And avoid them for now. Downvoting them. And people seem to have a problem with that, calling them bigots, and threatens to knock people out for opposing wokeness. I don't like using that word, so forced ideology. I prefer that one. Checkbox video games. It's rather annoying. Screenshot shared from what appears to be Calandra's Second Wind Discord to the Kotaku in Action subreddit shows Calandra posting in March 13th, 2024, quote, I've argued, well, let's go ahead and scroll down to the screenshot itself so you can see it. It's tiny words. I can't read that, so I'm going to scroll back up. It's there. I've argued and persuaded some people to realize how stupid they're being. Stupid for having an opinion. Stupid for voicing said opinion. Stupid for wanting all the information you can get on who is behind the scenes when it comes to a video game IP. You are stupid. You are being stupid. This is what Nick believes. It can happen. Kind of like what you're doing right here, Nick. But right now, these folks are just trolling, of course, voicing your opinion, disagreeing with the mainstream, disagreeing with the narrative that you and your like are trying to push. That is just trolling. Basically, trying to portray everyone that's calling them out as the actual racist, LOL. Well, we're constantly being called racist because we oppose forced diversity, forced inclusion, forced equity, when it doesn't make sense in the story. And 9 times out of 10, it affects the story. It affects the environment, the gameplay, the characters. And the game ends up being complete and total pile of shite. And when we voice that opinion because we have questions in the most recent discussion, we have questions as to why Yasuke is the main protagonist in a game set in feudal Japan. So while he's a real character, okay, cool. Assassin's Creed is a game about blending in and hiding and everything. And please forgive me, but I do believe Yasuke is going to have a very difficult time doing that in Assassin's Creed Shadows. Am I interested to see how Ubisoft is going to do it? Yes, actually I am. I am curious whether or not he's going to be sneaky or just smash his way through everything like a sledgehammer, which what kind of gameplay is that in an Assassin's Creed game? Oh, wait, if I have that opinion and I disagree with that storytelling arc, I'm a racist. Oh, dear. Isn't the first, won't be the last. Anyway, while they've joined a curator group, let's back up. Let's see, calling them out as the actual racist while they've joined a curator group that literally might as well be called I'm a bigot. Really? Is that so? It's a curator list of video games that SBI is involved in and other DIE consultancy groups are a part of. They're involved in a video game, letting people know what's going on in the video game, and letting those people make decisions on their own with as much information as possible. But, of course, the list is called I'm a bigot. He also wrote, I had to do my research before taking over The Escapist. I don't know if you're aware of this, but The Escapist doesn't really have a very good reputation right now, and you are doing such a wonderful job to make it oh so much better. The majority of this stuff is coming from the same dweebs. Name-calling again. Oh my goodness, name-calling again, Calandra. How dare you? You're doing the same thing that you accuse us of doing. I believe that's called hypocrisy and projection. Same dweebs that run the Kotaku in Action subreddit, and sometimes I'm more than happy to let people from that sub know that nobody will ever love them. Oh no. Calandra, are you projecting? Anyway, in another message he wrote, quote, some folks in my replies being like, wow, that was mean. I'm like, yeah, these are the kinds of people that if they said any of this stuff to me at a bar, I would more than happily get kicked out for knocking them out. My dear, so someone has an opinion. Dear Mr. Calandra, you must be careful with your words online, because if you are a public figure and you go around to these conventions, you might be surprised if someone takes you up on that offer. It's unfortunate, but it is true. Be careful making these accusations or, oh no, what is it? Challenges. Be careful making these challenges, these statements, because yes, somebody will make a bet that you won't be able to cash. Moving on. The screenshot was shared to the Kotaku in Action subreddit after former World of Warcraft team leader Mark Kern, aka Grums, accused Calandra of doxing him. And that's a whole different story in and of itself. Calandra, you have been a very, very busy individual, because apparently on Calandra's subreddit with tens of thousands of people, he's been asking for information on Mark Kern. Now, he can sit there and claim he only wants business information, only nothing personal. He's not going after him personally, going after him after his business dealings. But however, you must be aware of the people on the internet and what they will do, especially if they believe they have any sort of parasocial relationship with you. Nick, they're going to go above and beyond and do everything they can to find any sort of information. They will post it to your subreddit, which is against, not subreddit, Discord. They're going to post it to your Discord, which I do believe is against Discord terms of service. But then they're also going to share it on social media, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Kick, on wherever they can get it out there, because that's what people do. It doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on, what side of this ideological argument you are on. People on both sides will go that extra step, that 10,000 extra steps. What you have to understand is there are people out there calling for bounties on Mark Kern, and you are calling for your audience to get information on him. What do you think's going to happen, Nick? Let's see. Weaponizes Discord server and is encouraging his thousands of Patreon supporters to dox me. And apparently they did, according to Grums. Unlike certain other journalists who don't post receipts, I will. Grums has been doing a considerable amount of that, posting receipt after receipt after receipt of bounties being put on him, whether in jest or not, because it's only a joke until it isn't. I've already talked about this, and lots of people are talking about it. $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 to make this man go away. What on earth is that? What is that supposed to mean? And now, Nick Calandra, you are calling for people to hunt down, track down, find information on Mark Kern, on Grums. But no, of course not. You're going to play the victim. You're going to claim that I never did that. I didn't want public information, and yet here we are. What's supposed to happen? Is there going to be any accountability on your end, in your Discord, for people doing like this? I have my doubts. Addresses were posted, among other details, about people they assume are me, which is another major fucking problem. You have your Discord tracking down people with the same name, sharing their public information, and some whack job is going to go out there and do heaven knows what. What on earth are you thinking? Instead, Nick encouraged them to do more and to avoid further TOS violations, asking that the information be sent to him directly, secretly to avoid Discord disciplinary actions. These users go unpunished by his moderation team. Instead, they are praised. I believe some of them were even going, "This is the most fun I've had." What? Stalking me, tweeting about me for almost 2 months now. Need I remind everyone this is over a video game? All of this, these threats, these doxing, this bounty being put on someone's head, threatening to knock them out, get kicked out of a bar for having a different opinion on video games. And yet, who's the unhinged party here? Oh dear, oh dear. Grums then called Calandra a hypocrite. He calls me a grifter, but earns, well, I'm not going to question anybody. Earns $54,000 a month. It is what it is. People earn money the best way they can. You do you. Thanks to one of my supporters, Gigabear, who put in a sting when tricked. Good old Nick. I just got doxxed. My family's been doxxed. Second Wind and former EIC of escapist Nick Calandra has weaponized his Discord. Lots of discussion going around on Twitter. But my goodness, where is this going to stop? Where is this going to end? The whole doxing part, Nick Calandra believes that he got business information, public record, public information, but apparently some of those addresses are linked to more personal locations. And that's my opinion on that. Be very careful when you start up your own business. Do your damnedest to have whatever mailing address, whether it's, I mean, hell, even going so far as eBay and Etsy. Be very careful having your home address or the home address of your loved ones linked to any sort of business account, any sort of publicly accessible information, regardless of whether it costs a $20 fee or not. Be very careful. Know what you're doing. Take extra special precautions to make sure the wrong people don't get your personal information, because then you run into situations like this. Again, this all started over a video game of wanting the customer to get what they were promised. Having the customer, the wallets, the people who keep these developers in positions where they can continue to make their trade, continue to make video games. This started over a video game. What the hell is going on? But because someone made a list of video games, good old Nick Calandra wants to knock people out, calling them bigots and racists and phobes and all this other stuff. And yet all we're asking for is good gameplay instead of what is perceived as forced ideological nonsense in stories where the game suffers. But hey, good old Nick Calandra, you've made a name for yourself, and I don't think it's the one that you like. And I do kind of wonder what Second Wind thinks of all this, but I guess we'll have to wait and find out. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Leave a like, leave a dislike. Do all those nifty little things that YouTube is begging to do, and I do hope to see you on the next one.